start with yours.
We'll start with mine.
And we'll make our way to mine.
Oh yeah,
That's kind of thick.
that's what she said.
I like them thick. Thick thighs save lives, ladies and gentlemen.
Unless like she's like suffocates you or something.
That's how I want to go.
I feel like there could be like a female serial killer, and that's like their.
Oh no! I hope
That's
she
their
doesn't.
thing.
I hope she doesn't come to my house at 123 Easy Street.
But I'm just saying, like,
oh no, I'm disgusted. Where's she at?
Oh wait,
Where's she located at?
Have you been watching that? Fuck, this is on HBO, so maybe not. But that staircase show.
Mm-mm.
Oh man, it's crazy. It's about this dude and his wife. And it's like one of those murder mystery type things, like the documentaries. You know.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. But basically, this dude and his wife, they're like rich as fuck. They have this like huge house, and they're just chilling by the pool, like on some rich white people shit, like getting wine drunk, just chilling, hanging out, whatever. And he says she gets a call from her work. She has to go inside and like send an email real quick. So she goes in there. She's in there for a minute. So he ends up like finishing his wine and going in. Boom, finds her dead at the end of the staircase, like she had just fallen. Calls 911. It's like, hey yo, like my wife, she just fell down the stairs. She's like barely breathing. She's still alive though. Like send someone like ASAP type shit. Calls back like 5 minutes later to get an ETA or whatever. It's like, hey yo, she's not breathing. Like y'all need to get here ASAP. Blah 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 blah. Long story short, they end up blaming him for her death. And it's just a whole bunch of crazy shit. Apparently, like the dude was like, I don't want to say he's gay, but he was bisexual. He was fucking with like other dudes, and so they like this conspiracy theory is that he killed her to like cover it up. Like she had found out and was like onto him and was like gonna expose him type shit. So he's like, you know what, fuck that. Ends up killing her. That's like what the prosecution is saying or whatever. And then it comes out that like 20 years earlier, she was having an affair with his neighbor, and his neighbor died the exact same way by falling down the stairs. And they were like, oh man, this dude definitely did it. I don't know how it ends or anything because I haven't finished it. It's like one of those things that comes out every week.
Right.
But it's like it's based on a true story. It's just like the actors playing.
That's fucking crazy.
But there's also like an actual documentary on Netflix. But the show that I'm watching is on HBO. But just a crazy ass story, basically.
Yeah, that actually, on a weird side note, that reminds me of today. Actually, me and the manager at Pikes Peak stopped some fraud from happening. $12,000 worth of fraud.
Scammers.
The scammers had called her and said that her son got into a car accident with a pregnant woman.
Oh shit!
And his bail was posted at $12,000, and said that it's like on some ASAP type shit. So go to the bank and make a check. And so she went to the bank, wouldn't tell them why. They make her the check, comes over to our bank, and the manager there is like, do you have your son's phone number? And she's like, well, yeah. And they call him, and he's just getting out of the shower. Like, didn't go to jail, nothing.
You wouldn't call your
son first?
Yeah.
Right.
You wouldn't try and call?
I think they were pretty, she's older, but I think they were pretty persuasive in like.
They be getting the old people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
But it just reminded, like, it was crazy. Like, we stopped fraud, like a lot of money worth of fraud too, because she's about to send that shit too.
It seems like a pretty, not an easy scam, but that seems like a pretty, like a scam anyone could pull off, you know? But it's also one of those.
Don't get any ideas from the Mac and Don show, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you didn't hear it here. But it's just like one of those things, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you called enough people during the day, you could probably end up getting one person to do that, and boom.
He was so effing close, it's not even funny.
Right, and I'm like, boom, that's an easy 12 racks. I bet if you called 20 people, 2 people fell for it.
Yeah, especially old people. Imagine you woke up at 6 a.m. every day and scammed until 5 p.m. every day.
I bet you I'd make a lot of money.
hey, you thought panhandling was a lot of money. We need to just go straight to scamming.
Straight to the scammers.
Yeah.
Just go to the homeless people like, there's a better way. let me teach you some fraud.
That's how we get all the homeless people out of the streets, is we congregate them all into a scamming community. And they all have headsets and shit, like on some Shameless.
Oh my god.
We run a homeless shelter.
A telemarketer full.
We run a homeless shelter, but it's a front for a scamming operation.
Oh god.
Bruh.
We'd go to jail for forever.
Forever.
Once they caught on to us.
For forever, bro. It'd be worth it.
Actually, though, like, if you were going to commit a crime, like fraud and, like, the quote-unquote white-collar crimes, it's probably the best thing to do. Like,
yeah,
you probably make more money and you get less time in prison. Like, do you know who Bandman Kevo is?
No.
He's, like, a famous scammer.
Okay.
He's like one of those, like, rapper scammers.
Right.
But he's, like, more famous for scamming than he is for rapping, basically.
Okay.
So... But he went to jail for scamming and everything, and like type of jail they send you to for like fraud and all that type of shit is like cake. It's called a camp, and like if you don't have any other priors and like this is all you did was you scammed, like you'll probably get like 2 years in this camp. And he said it was like a retirement home.
Yeah, it's probably like one of those Switzerland jails where it's like kind of like an Airbnb. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what like I would describe it. He was like, yeah, the guards would go get us snacks and shit. We would have outside time.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I was sneaking off of the thing, and like, he would tell his bitch like, hey, leave a phone like behind this tree, and then the guards would just leave the shit open, and he would just go get the phone and come back, like type shit. So, if you are gonna commit a crime, fraud's the best crime to commit.
White collar
crime.
And you know, it's not like the most like morally ambiguous crimes. You know what I mean? Like murder is pretty cut and dry. Like you there's a lot of evidence. There's the jury is gonna be swayed against you
for sure.
Versus like if you were someone like you and me who got caught up in a money scheme or something like that, I feel like they would be less likely to vilify you and hang you publicly. You know what I mean?
For sure. Very true.
Yeah. Speaking of crime, you hear about that Buffalo shooting?
I did hear about that.
I mean, how the bird is the word, and the word is
racist.
Racially motivated active shooters.
How do we feel?
Ah, man,
I mean, fuck how we feel. First of all, we should probably send condolences to all those that died. I know this is a very funny podcast, but
that's not funny.
Imagine you send your grandma out to the grocery store and then she just comes back dead as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think she's coming back, but
I'm just saying, like,
yeah, sure.
I'm just saying, it's a lovely Sunday morning. You're like, I'm gonna go grab some groceries for the week, and like,
at your nearest
you know what I'm
store.
saying?
Yeah,
like,
and you're just at the wrong one. You're at the wrong one. Like bad timing. You know, like it's not even your fault. You can't even blame them. It's just
right. Like I don't know. It's just so routine. Like it sounds crazy, but like you know, it's not that you expect a school shooting, but like school shootings are not that they're so common, but there have been school shootings before. So you're thinking
commonly,
yeah, you're thinking, all right, this is a place where shootings happen, right?
Yeah, not the grocery store.
You're right, not the grocery store.
Yeah.
Like, although they had that one in Boulder.
Yeah, they did have one in Boulder. I think they had another one that I saw, which was in another state.
Right, but you don't think like you're just going to grab a couple of groceries. Like I should be careful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
certain situations, like if you're stopping at a gas station late at night, if you're in a
The
parking
Citadel
garage,
Mall,
right?
Any time of day,
right? Just certain shit you just know to
avoid.
Not to avoid, but you just know to be careful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that too.
You're not like
Avoid.
Oh, let me be careful as I walk into. Do we know?
Yeah.
Do we know like what it was? Was it a Walmart? 7-Eleven?
It was one of those like grocery stores that we don't have in Colorado. It was like
I gotcha.
Started with an S or something like that. But,
okay.
If you guys don't know, he drove 4 hours to drive to this grocery store in particular. And Mac hasn't seen the video. I did watch the video just because I was like,
I just didn't want to see the video.
Yeah, like I didn't want. Part of me didn't want to see the video, but the other part of me was like, how bad could it be? And let me tell you,
it's like I still have PTSD from not really like PTSD, but like I just don't like watching videos of things like that. You know that Sandra Bland case where the cop pulls her over and um she ends up dying later in prison, or not in prison, but they send her to jail. She ends up dying. She ends up killing herself in jail.
but she didn't really kill herself.
Yeah, yeah, it's like some weird like ass conspiracy, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I watched that video, and there was a couple different videos where I watched, and like the police officer either like killed the person, or it was like that where they like harmed them in some way, and I'm like, this shit just gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like I don't even like want to see it.
Yeah, it is like PTSD, and that you get like trauma from it. I feel like if you don't feel like it was a traumatic experience, then there's probably something wrong with you.
Yeah,
you know what
and
I mean?
I've seen some crazy shit on the internet.
Yeah.
Like I've even showed you. Like, you remember that one video of those Arabs like cutting that white bitch's head off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you show me that in the library?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
but either way,
I've
seen some crazy shit on the internet.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
Just certain shit I don't want to see.
And honestly, the video was really brutal. It was hard to watch. I don't know, like I said, like part of me did not want to watch it, but the other part of me was just so like, what happened? You know what I mean?
For sure.
And after watching it, I would say probably save yourself from watching it. Like, don't go out of your way to look at that, because it was pretty horrific. He does target people of color, and he actually goes out of his way to say sorry to a white gentleman, and purposely avoids him. Like doesn't really like, he aims the gun at him and then quickly moves on.
That's
and
crazy.
He also live streamed it on Twitch, I believe. I don't know why. What
do we think about that?
I think it was
about the live streaming part. That's probably
premeditated.
That's probably I think that's the craziest part. I can like wrap my head around, just because there's so much crazy shit in the world. I can probably wrap my head around a crazy dude shooting up a grocery store. I can wrap my head around that, mostly because it's happened before.
But like wearing a GoPro,
but live streaming it, that's the part where I'm like, what the fuck is the matter with this guy?
I think he had been hyping it up though, and like people, it was like a Riddler type situation where he was just like this needs to end. Minorities are the problem, or like, you know, it's just like,
I feel like I've seen some crazy shit on live before.
Yeah,
but not this crazy.
Yeah, no kidding.
I've seen someone like get shot on live before. Yeah. Someone get robbed on live,
and it's all not nearly as bad. Like I'm more desensitized to that kind of stuff, because it's like I'm used to like World Star or like Live Leak.
Yeah, you know? But like, how desensitized are you gonna be to like?
Just the way, and if you want to get like conspiracy theorist about it, like there's a lot of weird stuff going on in play that it's like like
wasn't there another shooting too? I feel like there was another mass shooting this week. Like this wasn't the only one. I think I saw a tweet where it was like, this has been a crazy ass week. There's been like 2 mass shootings. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping.
I don't know the other one. But just this one in particular, it's very, like, the conspiracy theorists are going to have a field day with it because of everything that's going on. As far as, like, the way he was shooting was very peculiar in the fact that it was very expertly done, for lack of a better word. Like, I've never seen somebody have, like, such good aim. Like, it wasn't like the best aim I've ever seen, obviously. He was spraying a little bit, but just the fact that like he just zeroed in on people, like this is a person of color, like boom, 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 like almost in a military kind of way. And some people are thinking it was carried out by the government, or at least instigated by the government.
I think before I would have to jump to that, although that would be a very interesting like conspiracy theory, I would have to know this guy's background, you know?
Yeah.
Because maybe he was in the military.
He would either have to be religiously going to the range.
Right.
Or have a military background.
Right. I mean, maybe he is military, like... I don't know.
Or maybe he is religiously going to the range. It could be both, you know.
But this is New York though. Where did he drive from? Did he drive from a different state?
That's a good question. 4 hours is a long time.
Yeah, especially on the East Coast, 4 hours is a long time.
You could go through 3 states probably.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I have no idea.
And I know the gun laws like in New York, especially like
He specifically picked Buffalo because of their strict gun laws, though. He knew nobody would have a gun.
Right.
Because he wrote a manifesto. Did you know that?
But that's my point. If no one really has too many guns around here, how many really shooting ranges are there?
But he drove 4 hours. That's
yeah. That's what I'm like. Where did he drive from?
Yeah.
That's crazy. And what
you heard about the manifesto though?
Like I didn't hear about the mat.
He
about that.
He wrote
Ted Kaczynski shit.
He wrote why he did it, and it was basically like lined out as like it was racially motivated, like he was doing it because he wanted to kill people of color in particular, and then also he chose this location specifically because, and that's another thing conspiracists are going to talk about is like where did this manifesto come from? Like why? Like, you know what I mean? It just seems like could it be fabricated? Is what I'm trying to get at. You know what I mean? Could it be something doctored by somebody else? Maybe not even him in particular, or influenced by somebody else, like CIA type shit, where they were like dosing him with LSD. I'm not saying that they were, but
right?
Like
I don't know. I would have to go into the rabbit hole, to even come up with anything.
Just
I haven't even seen the video. I just know that it happened. So I don't know. I would love to love to speak on those, but I just don't know.
I thought you were about to say I would love to speak with him more.
I mean, what, is he dead? Did they kill him? Is he alive?
I actually have no idea. I'm not sure.
Because it seems like one of those things where you would like try to kill yourself afterwards or something like that.
The live stream cuts out. Like it doesn't turn off, but it's weird because it's super glitchy.
Bro, what happened to that war on terrorism?
What happened to the war on drugs?
Fuck the war on drugs. Didn't we have a war on terrorism and all we focused on was the Middle East? And I'm like,
I think you're missing my point. You know, I think you're missing, like, it's fuck the war on drugs, but it's also fuck the war on terrorism because they only did that because of 9/11.
Yeah, that's true.
We shouldn't have been in Afghanistan in the first place. We should have never even been there in the Middle East.
Yeah, but my point is here, there's way more domestic terrorism than there is, like, other niggas trying to get our ass. You know what I'm saying? Bro. Like, what did Coach used to say? A house divided will not stand.
Will not stand. You damn right. And you know what? I just saw something today where it was like this guy was theorizing about what the future looked like, I think, and he was like, well, if I was somebody who was interested in changing how the world works, I would just take a moment to I would just observe right now, because it seems like America in particular is good at tearing itself apart. Like it's a lot of like us becoming our own undoing, you know what I mean, versus like, so everybody's just watching us and waiting for us to just implode.
I can see that for sure.
So
I can see that. Yeah, because like you know, like in China, like they're always like being like fuck America, like they're like the government like is like has like so much like anti-American propaganda, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they don't like, I think they control a lot of what they see,
right? And like in the new Spider-Man movie where they're fighting on the fucking Statue of Liberty, they completely cut that out. Yeah, cut that part out in the Chinese version.
Do you think the U.S. does that to us?
I don't think so.
No. Do you think they do it to us in maybe more subtle ways?
Like you're saying, if like there was a Chinese movie, we would cut certain shit out.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Like maybe not the Jurassic, but maybe in more subtle ways, where it's like, hey, yo, fuck China because of this.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like in America, we're never like fuck a certain place. We're just always like fuck everybody because we're the best. You know, it's never
arrogance.
It's never like, you know,
like it's not because we're like.
Yeah, I feel like we've had so many different beefs. Like at one point we were like fuck Russia, but I feel like even that's died down. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that wasn't even 2 months ago. You feel what I'm saying?
Is that still going on?
I'm sure it is. You know, it's, you know how quick the fucking news cycle is. You know? We're on to the next thing.
I did hear that Russia is claiming new borders, like expanding their border, and NATO doesn't recognize that as a border. Like literally, just doesn't refuses to recognize that as Russian territory.
Sometimes I ask myself this, like, thinking about the world, like, how much do you think us as, not us as like me and you, but us as like America in general, do you think we have like to like uphold some type of like what am I trying to say, like some type of like moral code? You know what I'm saying? Because to me, I personally feel like whatever these other countries got going on, that ain't got shit to do with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like in World War II, when they were like killing the Jews, like someone should have probably done something about that, right? So we can't be like, oh, whatever these Europeans got going on, that's their beef. But if America never stepped in, like probably might be like 8 to 10 million Jews like that are actually killed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you get where I'm saying?
On one hand, it's like it's none of our fucking business, and then on the other hand, it's like if we don't get involved, like we have to get involved.
Right.
Yeah, we don't get involved unless absolutely necessary. And
but I'm saying sometimes we get involved when I don't think it's necessary. But I don't know.
I feel like we don't get involved unless pushed too far. Like I feel like we haven't gotten involved unless it's that doesn't apply to the Middle East, obviously, because
right,
we shouldn't have been there, and we shouldn't have been in Vietnam either. We shouldn't have been killing women and children and forcing a lot of soldiers to die because of they had the home field advantage.
Right, but we thought that they were spreading communism, which was quote unquote against our moral code. So
that was a lie put out by our government. That was American propaganda of us saying like they're spreading communism, but in reality, like a lot of the families weren't. Like and we went and like killed people in villages, like asking about the communists.
Well, yeah, that's because they were Vietnam and they were communists and they were attacking the Viet Cong, which weren't communists, trying to overthrow them, and we basically took the people that were trying to overthrow.
And we took the L though. We lost.
I mean, it wasn't really an L. It's just more like yeah, basically.
So like, yeah, we shouldn't have been there.
Right. We shouldn't be in most foreign conflicts, but we're always up in the shits because we feel like we have some type of
we have arrogance, like reputation to uphold.
Right.
And it's at its lowest right now.
Yeah, but that's the question. At what point do you intervene because you have to? You know what I'm saying? Because
us, like the us that you were talking about.
Yeah, like
us intervening.
Yeah, like as like American, like as an American military, as American government, whatever. Like, like
we're just down.
Like, how much money did we give to Ukraine?
That bill actually got stopped, thankfully, but it was going to be billions.
Right, like
double-digit billions.
Right, like I'm sure there's roads we could rebuild.
Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Are you
jobs we could create? Like,
there's
a million things that we could do with that $4.8 billion. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just pulled that shit out of our ass and we're literally handing it out to someone else. But like, we got shit here we could fix with that money.
Bruh.
But it's like, do those people need the? You know what I'm saying? It's like the moral gray area where it's like,
well, they thought Ukraine needed it, and apparently now that changed. They just changed it on a dime.
I don't know.
Because the bill got stopped by a senator.
Good for that guy.
Yeah, we should be telling him thank you.
Right. But that's just my question here. Like, at what point? I don't know. I guess my opinion doesn't really matter at all. But, because, I mean, shit's gonna happen how it happens. But I'm like,
that's annoying.
Didn't George Washington say we should stay out of foreign conflicts? I don't know.
Yeah, that was back before the internet, I guess. But
for sure.
Before plumbing and all that, and dentistry and, basic, a lot of things. But that's why everything just needs an update. My phone gets an update every week. Why don't we just update all kinds of shit? Maybe we should be updating the Bill of Rights. Maybe it doesn't need a large tweak all the time, but maybe it needs a slight tweak from when it was originally created, we follow that bitch to the T. To the T. And a lot of the shit doesn't exactly apply to today's modern world because they didn't even have Google. The smartest guy prior to Google was the equivalent of today's dumbest guy. The dumbest guy today was a genius back in the day because the dumbest guy today has a basic education and B, access to Google.
Yeah, but like a lot of the shit makes sense still, like almost 400 years later.
You're right. That's what I'm saying. Like maybe it doesn't need a large tweak, but a lot of the stuff is like.
Yeah, but once you open the door to one tweak, then.
Yeah. I think everything's subject to a tweak, my guy.
Yeah, but I'm like, once you open.
Is it perfect? It's not perfect, right? We can improve upon it.
I think, yeah, that's
what
true.
What about improve upon? That's what an update is.
Yeah, that's true. But those first 10 you should keep pretty down pat.
Yeah, I'm not saying change. I'm not saying like.
And that's why they leave it up to
maybe add on to.
And that's why they leave it up to the states for interpretation. Like with the Second Amendment, like we were just saying, like New York, it's hard to get a gun. In Colorado, you could probably get a gun pretty easy.
Yeah, fair enough.
And all the Second Amendment says is you have a right to bear arms. And each state kind of, they don't tweak it per se, but they interpret that differently. So I think there's tweaks. Yeah. They leave room for tweaks that way. I'll say that.
Okay. That's fair. I'll give you that. But, yeah, I don't know. Just going on a random political tangent right
there. Yeah, let's switch it up.
Yeah.
What do we think about Mr. Strange? Doctor Strange? Okay, let's talk about that for sure. So me and Don went to go see Doctor Strange in the fanciest movie theater we could.
We went to go see the 4DX experience.
I didn't know what it was called. In
the Denver Pavilions. Pavilions?
It was pretty.
Actually, retarded.
It was lit. I had a great time, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to those dudes that were clearly high on drugs that we saw at Chiba Hut.
Yeah.
That was a very strange experience we had there.
Yeah, we're just walking into Chiba Hut, about to get something to eat right before. And as we're walking in, some random dude, he looked like he was like our age, but we had no idea who he was. He's like, he points at us and he's like,
"You guys following us?"
"Yeah, are you following me?"
Right in front of the security guard.
Yeah, and the security guard's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Instantly, we're like,
and I think we just laugh it off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we even like say anything to him.
We let it slide.
Yeah, we let it slide. So we were just like, "Oh, okay, that was kind of weird." So he goes in right in front of us, and then we're like right behind him. And he turns and says something to Chris. Something about, "Oh, you cleared those tables pretty quick," or something like that.
He's like, yeah. I think that's exactly what he said. Because Chris was like, yeah. Instantly locked and loaded, was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
whatever you want, buddy.
Yeah, and then he says something else after that, and that's when I started to be confused.
Like, I liquidated all my cash on the table.
Yeah.
And I was like, at this point, I was like, what?
I think me and you like might have been talking about something, and then he's like talking.
Came back in. Yeah. He's like recognizes Chris for some reason.
Yeah,
because he was like,
yeah, I think me and you were talking about something, and then he starts talking to Chris.
Right.
And then
we're in line waiting,
and then we stop talking to listen to what they're saying.
Yeah, because it was so absurd.
Yeah. And I'm just overhearing what him and Chris are saying, and I intervene, and I'm like, what? I forget what I say, but I'm like, basically, I'm like, what are you talking about here? Like,
yeah, like, all right. Chris, you just gonna let that slide or something like that? You're like,
I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like that's enough of that.
And then he gives me a weird look, and I was like, okay, maybe I just jumped into this. Like,
yeah.
But I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Yeah.
Like, and then I'm
on the same page, but Chris is just trying to let it happen. You know what I mean? Chris is just on the wave. You know what I mean? He's surfing.
Yeah, because Chris was like going with it, so I was like, okay, maybe Chris knows what's going on, but I was so confused. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? And then And then he like looks confused, and I was like, all right, maybe I just jumped into this conversation midway, but I'm just like what the fuck? And then he was like, oh, you guys weren't just, he was like, you guys weren't just like where I just was. And you're like, no.
Yeah, and he was like, sold a lot of stuff today. Remember he said that? He's like, I sold a lot of my stuff.
I don't remember that.
He said something along the lines of that. He was like,
I just
sold a lot of my
I just
stuff.
remember his friend was like, all right, bro, come on. Like,
I think his buddy was just like, the whole time I kept looking over at him, and I'm like, these dudes got to be on something. I don't know. That was some like Archive 81 shit where like,
yeah, like, are you from a different dimension?
He was getting ready to be like, oh, you guys aren't from the table, and then like we just like wake up at a fucking blackjack table.
Yo,
or something.
maybe we have some doppelgangers out there. Low key.
Impersonate evil clones of us.
Yeah. Like on some Doctor Strange shit where like the universes collide and now there's two of us.
Spoiler alert.
Whoa. What is it called? It's like an incursion.
Yeah.
Good.
Just so you guys know, there's a black Captain Marvel out there.
I think there's a whole Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah, but that's the white girl one. Nobody care about the white girl one.
Oh, is she white in that one? I assume she was black in that one.
It's Brie Larson. Brie Larson's Captain Marvel.
This is the first Marvel movie I've seen. Like, period.
I thought you watched Infinity War.
No.
You didn't watch Endgame?
No.
I thought you watched Endgame.
No. I have not seen Endgame.
Oh, okay.
I've seen Doctor Strange.
You don't know Brie Larson is Captain Marvel, though?
No.
Do you know who Brie Larson is?
No.
It's okay, because in a lineup of white women, you wouldn't recognize her.
I've seen this new Doctor Strange, and I think I've seen all the Iron Mans.
Shout out Iron Man.
And I've seen the first Captain America, and I've seen Winter Soldier.
Not any of the Thors?
Nope, nothing else.
No Thors.
Nope.
Not one Thor.
I've seen the first Guardian of the Galaxy.
That is not Thor.
It's not. I've seen
Thor's not even in that.
I've seen none of those Thors, no.
Okay.
So,
well, thank you.
That's the
thank
5 Marvel movies that I've seen.
What's your impression of Doctor Strange?
This one is pretty lit.
Fuck, man.
Are they all like this?
No.
No? This one is like pretty good?
Yeah.
I thought it was great, honestly. Yeah. Like the storyline was good.
Yeah.
Like,
great pacing.
Yeah, like
definitely comic booky. Very, very
comic booky. I thought that I thought that I like had to watch all the other movies to understand what was going on. But
not at all.
Yeah, I understood like immediately. Like at first I was a little bit confused, like what the fuck they're like.
And shout out Big D, because I had to feed Mac a lot of the information along the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was
sorry, Chris, because we were being discourteous to the movie experience.
But I was just a little bit confused at first, because I was like, they're like, just the first part was kind of weird to me, because
the wedding.
No, not even the wedding. The where they're like running around in space, and it's the other universe with the other Doctor Strange. And
oh yeah.
They're running away from that monster. And I was like,
very first scene.
Yeah,
they make that confusing on purpose.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, don't tell me this is gonna be like a monster movie.
Like literally the next episode of something. Like you're like, oh fuck, I already don't know what's going on. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can only imagine like you haven't seen the first Doctor Strange, right? Yeah, that's right. And so like the first scene is like Doctor Strange and this new character we've never seen, and he's running around. So Mac is like, yo, who the fuck is this girl? Who the fuck is this monster? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Shit's crazy at the very beginning.
For sure. But once they start getting into the storyline, like, I have seen WandaVision though, the little series WandaVision.
I can't believe you've seen WandaVision and you haven't seen like a lot of the basics, like Doctor Strange. The first one, I watched that one last night, low key, and baller ass movie. Love that movie. It's not my favorite movie, but it's up there. It's up there.
Fair enough. But yeah, I thought the storyline was great. Like, fuck, I don't know her superhero name, but Wanda, I feel like her motivations like were pretty.
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, I feel like Scarlet Witch. I feel like her motivations were pretty
valid.
Valid, understandable. Yeah. Like, it's almost like she wasn't like right.
It wasn't a reach. Like
it wasn't
her motivations weren't like.
Yeah, it wasn't
like,
moral, but like if you put yourself in her shoes, like
you could see yourself.
Yeah, I could see myself doing the same shit.
Exactly.
Like, I'm just trying to live my best life in a different dimension. Like, what the fuck's the problem?
Yeah.
But she has to like capture the old girl's powers.
She's cold, bro.
She's cold. She is cold blooded.
My favorite part is when Reed Richards is like, we
fucking head pops. Dog.
Hey, big spoiler alert.
I think that was my favorite part.
Big spoiler part. That's actually low-key my favorite part. But the fact that they were all like, we're Scarlet Witch is not the threat, Strange. You're the threat in another dimension, you know. And they're like, in every dimension, you're like a liability, and this and that. And then all of a sudden, it's
they keep calling him a narcissist.
Yep, yep. And he's like, and he's like, Black Bolt can blow you away with one whisper from his mouth. And she's all
he gets his fucking
brains
like, blown out.
She's all like, what mouth? And then I saw this meme that would change Captain Marvel's mouth and like covered her mouth, and it was like, she's not Black Bolt, idiot.
But I thought it was really good. I think there was a couple parts that we were both like, hey, yo, is this rated R?
Yeah, for real. If it's not rated R, it needs to be. That shit was cold blooded. Right.
There was a couple times where you were just like,
when his head just caves in.
Yes,
that was my jaw was dropped. I literally
when he goes into the other dimension there, he died. And the fucking zombie one comes up. I was like, dog.
I've never seen nothing like that.
Yeah.
You can never guess what's gonna happen next. That's a great part about the movie. And then all the things
like start attacking him and shit.
That's what's great about a comic book. That's what's so good about flipping through a comic book. You never fucking know what the fuck is gonna happen. Like, Hulk is gonna hold together a planet in this one, or like, you know, Spider-Man's girlfriend's gonna die in this one. Like, you never fucking know what's gonna happen, and that's what makes like a good comic book. And it's nice when it's adapted into a movie nicely, because everything is very comic book-esque. Like that alien at the beginning, that's something I can see them like
for sure
in a Stan Lee classic, or you know what I mean. It's probably based off of an actual issue. You know what I mean? It's probably all based off of an actual issue.
Well, in the comics, what's her name is Magneto's. Excuse me.
Girlfriend?
No.
Daughter. Yeah, that's still true, because Quicksilver dies in the MCU, but he's still alive in.
Oh, I thought there was some type of beef because fucking Sony owns X-Men.
Yeah. So Quicksilver's on both.
Well, what's his name? Charles Xavier's in this one. Also, how he gets killed is pretty sick. Fucking A. They're gonna kill Professor X.
He for real thought he was just gonna like go in there and save her, and she was all trapped underneath the wreckage and shit.
I think he's a narcissist too.
Yo, I think that wreckage is what killed her family. That's why she's all fucked up in there.
I don't know. This was one villain where I was like, yo. She. What can I say? Fucking killed all those Asians at first in the beginning.
She did that while possessing another version of herself. Like, she fucked up all those other superheroes while possessing another version of herself.
Crazy shit. Like, she might be the strongest Avenger. Mm-hmm. What did I say? It's Hulk? I wouldn't want to see that on a one-on-one.
She would fuck him up. Because she can bend reality. Even Professor Hulk, he's limited. So, like, real Hulk, the strong one, he's a beast, and he doesn't have the Bruce Banner like thought process. He just thinks smash, and so that's his downfall. But he's
always angry.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's what feeds his power, is his anger, and he actually gets stronger the angrier he gets. So technically, there's no limit to his strength, because he could just endlessly get angrier and angrier and angrier. So there's no telling like how strong he really is. You know what I mean? But again, like he doesn't have strategy on his side versus like she does. She can use his like mind to fuck with him, and he'll destroy himself. You know what I mean? Like on
Right,
some
for sure.
OP shit. Like,
Yeah.
she can bend reality. That like the whole WandaVision is her bending that town into a TV show that she created.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Some Truman shit. But what do you I didn't like how they were kind of like trying to paint Doctor Strange into like kind of being the villain, but like the good villain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
He's just a narcissist.
Like what is it called? An anti-hero? It's like he's trying to be an anti-hero, but it's like not really working because he's like, I don't know. I feel like the whole story revolves around him trying to help this bitch, and like they're shitting on him the whole time.
Yeah.
Kind of.
He's like a chaotic good. You know what I mean? Like on the scale of all things, he's at the end of the day, he's chaotic in that he uses his magic. You know what I mean? Like
I kind of get it, but I just feel like they should put some respect on his name. Come on now.
Yeah.
Didn't he like help defeat Thanos?
Yeah.
And like an important. Didn't he? He was like an important guy. Come on now.
But not in every universe. I think in that universe he kills Thanos, but in the other universe Tony does it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is all just what I'm learning about all the YouTube videos that I watched after the movie.
Okay. Love that.
Yeah.
That's where I get 90% of my knowledge.
Yeah, I was like, man, I could spend a long time trying to watch all these movies, or I could watch this hour-long YouTube video and explain everything.
Perfect.
And that's what I did.
I love explanations and breakdowns and shit like that. I'm all about that shit. I'm kind of a movie buff.
I think you've said that.
Yeah.
I am less of a movie buff and more of like a filmmaking buff.
Yeah, I like that.
Where I'm like, oh, he uses this camera angle to convey this and that, and
Me too.
once he changes the camera angle like this, it's like from her point of view and things and that, and like when the camera's over your shoulder, it means this, and like a whole bunch of shit like that with like camera angles and lighting and
Yeah.
just a little like directorial tastes.
Yeah, I like that.
Like you could give the same script to two different. Like if you gave this script to me and someone gave a script to you and they were like, all right, go direct it. Like it might come out completely different. Like
movies.
right, the same lines. You know what I'm saying? Like all that. It's just what you see in your mind of the movie when you read the script versus what I see.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that shit's just cool as fuck to me.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot because I know you and I both have an eye for it because not everybody has the eye for it.
Right.
You know, like a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot of people, but there are few and far between photographers, you know, and people who can actually get good angles,
Right.
good zoom, good blur, you know what I mean? It's all like you gotta have the eye for it, and I definitely think you have the eye for it. I definitely think I have the eye for it. You know what I mean?
Right. And I don't think I could like actually like work the camera and like do all like the technical stuff, but I could be like, hey yo, set it up right here, make it look like this. This is how I want it. Like
yeah.
type
And I think
shit.
that's what makes us great is like we both have the ability to like that looks good. And you're like, that does look good. And then
right, for sure.
we both kind of just are on the same page, but in our styles still. You know what I
Right.
mean?
For
Like
sure.
that's the cool thing is like because you can collaborate. Like even though we could do two separate things with a script, we could also like do the same script together and then also like
right.
create something that neither of us would have created alone. You know what I mean? Like that combination is like something different entirely because like that would be different than the other way we would go, like making the movies that we would make. You know?
Right, for sure, for sure. I don't know. And I don't know. I feel like it's like my attention span, but I just can't unless I'm in it like we did, like we went to the theater. Unless it's like that, where it's like an experience almost. Like I don't like watching movies because my attention span is so like quick. You know?
Yeah,
If
and
it gets over an hour, I'm like, oh man, what are we doing here?
yeah, and what he means is we sat in these chairs that moved the whole movie.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
The whole movie, there was air out of this vent in front of you that was interactive with the movie.
For sure. This was like
water.
It was like the perfect. It was like the perfect movie to see with the cool stuff.
Doctor Strange was like a good choice.
Yeah, for sure.
I assume what's it called? Top Gun would be a good movie too because it was a pretty cool trailer. Once they like kicked it on,
right.
I was like, "Yo." The only thing is,
I can't support Scientology.
Yeah, me neither. You know, Will Smith is in that.
Isn't he really?
Yeah. Wild, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Jada Smith has to be in it too. They don't take just you; they take your whole family.
That's why they're all weirdos.
Have you seen that documentary with old girl from King? Fuck, that show with Kevin James, where he's the mailman. Kings and Queens. Yeah. King of Queens. Yes. But she's the wife.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. She was in Scientology, but she got out. Yep. She was on
like
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, she's like exposing that shit.
Yep.
That shit's crazy.
Yep.
But they don't take just you; they take your whole family. So
yeah, that's why Jaden Smith can't complete a coherent thought and make it seem deep.
I mean, fair enough. What do we think about? I mean, I guess not all. Do you have to be talented as fuck to be a part of Scientology? Because they fucking got John Travolta, Tom Cruise. There's no telling who else they got. You know?
Yeah.
They have a church right in the middle of downtown Denver. I pass it all the time. I'm just like, oh man.
Maybe you just have to have a lot of money. Maybe it's a money thing. It's probably a money laundering thing.
It's like one of those Epstein control things, because like I think you have to like tell them like some shit, and then they have like something over you that if you ever try to like get out, that's like kind of what they were trying to get at, you know?
Right, but how did what's her name get out?
I think she just said fuck it. It's like a cult almost.
What did they have on her though? You know?
Well, like you like I don't know. I'd have to watch the thing again, but. It's some crazy shit. You gotta like tell them your deepest, darkest secrets and shit, you know?
Bro, it's probably like some Archive 81 shit where they'd be like huffing and puffing in a room together around an idol.
Well, they think
like that. Like Alex Jones, he infiltrated that one ritual. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I sure do. In the forest.
Yeah. What is it called? It was
Bohemian Girl. The Bohemian Girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. But like, fuck, what was I gonna say before that? Oh man, I've totally forgot.
Culty, they're a cult, Scientology.
They believe that something about an alien.
Oh yeah. That there's like a.
Oh man, they're gonna come for our asses, dog.
Bro, I'm surprised they haven't already. I'm surprised we haven't had Independence Day type shit. We haven't
spoken ill on their name ever on this podcast, but now that they're gonna be like, we're gonna make sure the Macadon show never gets any clout.
Fuck, man. You know what? Fuck it.
At
least we being flagrant out here because.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. What's her name went on there?
We're gonna be like, if the apocalypse ever went down, we're gonna be the ones documenting it. Okay, we're gonna be the ones. You can hear it from the Macadon show, real and raw, and it's gonna be the truth. All right.
Big facts.
And we're always going to tell you guys the truth, unless we're lying.
Unless we're joking. It's never a lie. It's more of a joke. More of an exaggeration.
Yeah, sure.
More of a...
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
Yeah, you decide. Like, I feel like our audience knows when we're joking and when we're being serious.
It's called a
lie. All right. So what would you give it on a scale of 1 to 10, Dr. Strange?
Dr. Strange.
And also, would you want his powers?
What exactly? 9 out of 10.
What exactly are his powers, though?
He's so not everybody has the ability to use magic. Some people are like sensitive to it or like have a lineage to it. You know what I mean? Like in their DNA.
This is where the Marvel shit gets corny to me.
It's like, it's called magic, but I think it's just like magic's like an old term because it's been around for so long. It's like an ancient thing. And I know that some of the evil magic, as they call it, is just energy from a dark universe.
Like the dark cold.
Yeah. It's just energy from another universe where the universe is like all fucked up and like, you know what I mean? Like in the Doctor Strange movie, there's this dark universe where the Sorcerer Supreme
Where
draws
black people
power
come
from. Dormammu comes from it.
Oh, that's where Captain Marvel and all them come from.
No,
Everyone in Black
not
Panther.
even close.
No,
No. Not even close. So Dormammu is like
they
this
got a
world
Mexican
eater.
universe.
Yeah, pretty much. There's like a yellow one
Hey,
for all the Asians.
America Chavez came from the fucking Mexican universe. Old dude.
There's a bean universe out there.
Old dude Shung. What is his name? He's the fucking supreme sorcerer or whatever.
Wang.
Yeah, he came from the yellow one.
Wong.
Whatever.
It's Wong, not Wang.
Wang.
Wang. Just throw some pots and pans in the kitchen and whatever the sound that comes out is his name.
But come on now.
Yeah. They do that shit on purpose.
It's like
I know somebody whose name is Dong.
yeah, but that's like what
Dong.
What if they named our boy Karish Blackie? Come on now. You know what I'm
Her
saying?
name isn't Ching Chong, alright? It's not Ping Pong either.
But it's so close. It's like, come on now.
It's not Pong Ping. So it's not it backwards either, so it's its own thing. Maybe it means something in Mandarin or Cantonese because
Cantonese.
there's no
Is that a
there's
language?
there's no language called Chinese. In China,
Yeah, I thought it was Mandarin.
in Cantonese is the other one.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What if they got like I don't know. I feel like people in Louisiana they could definitely be speaking a different language.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit like that, but it's more like
Or that video of
Mexicans.
Or that video of Kanye where he's like speaking that gibberish.
Yeah,
I'm about to play it.
bet.
Because I feel like you were unsure. I just saw it. That's why it's fresh on my mind. It's okay, hilarious. Oh yeah, here it is.
I'm a little mother. I don't want that. I want that goose right now.
He's off that goose right now.
I'm a little mother. I don't want that. I want that goose right now.
I'm a little bit. Hold on, he says something.
I'm a little mother. I don't want that. I want that goose right now.
I'm a little bi. I might die. I'm off that goose right now.
No, hell no.
I'm a little mother. I don't want that. I want that goose right now.
I'm a little my guy. I'm
on.
off that goose right now.
Come on now. He's speaking gibberish.
There's something in there.
Goose right now?
Grey Goose. It's that vodka. He's off that vodka.
Yeah, I understood that.
Okay.
What else did he say?
Something, I die. So there's a rhyme in there, right? I don't care if I die.
It's like when you think you know the lyrics to a song and then like it comes on and you end up like kind of mumbling them all. You kind of just
He's
know.
off the goose. He definitely been drinking.
But you always know the end line, you know what I'm saying?
He can't be perfect all the time. He's probably
It's like when you know the first bar and you know the last bar and like everything in between. You're just like,
Hey, bro, imagine being Kanye and people just passing you drinks, and by the end of the night they're like, "Yo, Kanye, throw up verse on the beat." Hey, 1, 2, 3, and he's like,
I'm the goose right now.
"Yes, sir." And you know what? Not a goddamn person gonna say not shit to him.
No, they all laughed because they were like, "What the fuck did you say?" They all laughed.
Hey, they know exactly what the fuck he's saying though. You know what he's saying.
No, I don't.
Stop playing. Don't play with me.
Oh man,
You know exactly what he's saying.
that's crazy. So they got that type of English, and then they got regular English, and then they got whatever New Yorkers speak.
Buffalo Soda.
Oh man, that's so flagrant. I'm not even gonna try and work into the pod. I think it might take me too long to actually write a joke like that.
Yeah.
And to flesh it out and for it to be like.
Yeah, how did you know what?
It's so
shout out to Ari for being able to pump those
it's
out.
so time sensitive that I'm
Yeah.
like, oh man.
To be able to just actually have that on go, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't actually have it on go though. I was listening to a podcast with Joe Rogan and Tony Hinchcliffe, and Tony was saying how he opened for Bill Burr, and he was talking about something that was like super recent, like just like we were talking about, and they go backstage and he was like, oh man, it's so crazy how you can just do that so easily, and Bill Burr like rips at a new asshole, and he was like, easy? You thought this was easy? Took me 3 years, or not 3 years. He was like, it took me 3 nights, or he was like, it took me literally 3 nights to work this joke out just for it to kill this one time.
Yeah.
And I was just like, damn.
Yeah, and that's probably like hunched over a piece of paper, you know what I mean? Just whatever his method is, just like
For sure.
focused. Because he has the ability to do that, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I think it's just like one of those things where it's like, have you ever read that book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell?
No.
It's basically a fucking long ass book that has, you can just sum it all up in one sentence. It's like you got to put your hours in. But it talks about the idea of like you're an expert at something once you like put 10,000 hours into it. It's like kind of it's like where that idea comes from.
Right.
But he uses this example of Steph Curry, and it was like if you just like put anyone random out there on the court, like they would have no idea what they were doing. But like if you put someone that's put this 10,000 hours in there, like it's almost like second nature. It's like reflex. Like like you don't have to go out there and call a play per se. You can just kind of go out there and feel the game, like off a rebound. You know what I'm saying? You can just go out there and feel it. Where if you didn't know the game as well, you know, you kind of get what I'm getting at,
right?
Where it's like second nature,
right? It's like, do you remember when you first worked at your job? Do you remember like training?
Yeah, for sure.
And like how almost embarrassing it is,
right.
You know, when you're doing something new and you don't know what's going on, and they're just kind of like you don't know how to do this already. You know what I mean? Like training at any job I've worked at, it's like like that. But then what? I'm actually, today's my 7-month anniversary at the bank, and I remember where I was at the beginning compared to now. Like at the beginning, I was like, how am I going to remember all this? Like, there's no fucking way. Like, the training's so detailed. There's so much about home equity lines and personal loans. And like, am I even going to be able to retain all this knowledge? And now it's like.
Right. And now you just do shit like by instinct that you wouldn't even like know how to explain. Like, oh, you just do this because this is
it's
that.
Easier. Like, it's easy. It's the woven path of the 1,000 hours that you put in.
Right.
Eventually you work in you whittle down like a path. There's this really cool phenomenon that happens. There's this college that has these paved walkways that are all kind of crazy, but it's because way back in the day it all used to be grass, and it would be where the students would walk from point A to point B. So they literally took the paths that the students used to walk and paved every single like footpath. Right. And so that way it's human nature. Like they were already going that way, and it's the shortest way, so it's the easiest to do. And I just think of that in part, like when you are learning something, you kind of learn like your walking path, your point A to point B. Right. You know what I mean? You kind of dial it in.
Right. There's this part of the bar that we call the well, and it's where you make all the drinks and shit. And whenever someone sits right by the well, like especially on this side where we call the server side, and that's where they get all the drinks that we have to make for the servers. We got to make them for the people at the bar and their servers. Mm-hmm. So we call that well the belly. And whenever someone sits next to right there on the belly, they'll be asking me all the time, like, "Hey, why'd you do that? Like, why'd you do this and this?" And it like forces me to think, like, why did I do that? And I'm like, it's just like little shit, like just make shit easier, you know?
Yeah, they point out shit you didn't even think about.
Right, like just stupid shit like I stirred it old fashioned. I just put all the ice straight into the glass and then garnished it. And then the next time I strained it, and they were like, "Oh, why'd you strain this one and you didn't do that?" And then I was like, honestly, because I was in a hurry with this one, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was just busy.
Yep.
And I was just like, I didn't really think about like why I did it. I just did it type shit. So
Yeah.
it's just like little shit like that.
They used to try to get me at Starbucks like that. Like, I remember when I first started working at Starbucks, when you learned a recipe, you had to follow these recipe cards, and it's in order, and you have to follow it by order. It's like you have to put the ice in first, and then you have to do the milk, like,
Right.
to measure out your milk. But then sometimes when I'm like in a rush, you know what I
Right.
mean? I'm just throwing milk in, then the ice, you know what I mean? Then you put it in the syrup, because it's all going in the same fucking blender anyways. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're closer to the syrup, sometimes you're closer to the base. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like quicker, and it doesn't, like, it's not gonna make a difference.
Right, for sure.
You know what I mean? It's like the same drink. You just got there a different way with the same ingredients.
Right, for sure.
You know, it's not gonna taste different.
You've got a point. You've definitely got a point. Yeah, but just little shit. I forgot how we got here.
That's a good question. Jobs and whittling things in, learning, and then you were talking about something right before that. I have no clue.
I don't know. Fuck it. Did we listen to the Kendrick album?
It's probably the first album I've ever had to wrap up in aluminum foil and save for later. You know what I mean?
I've been doing this a lot with music, with whatever music drops lately,
Mm-hmm.
like whatever like the craze is at the time. I
Let it die down.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
I let it die down so much that I forget about it.
Why do you? What I do the same thing, but why? Why do we do that?
I feel like whenever
Is it depression?
No, I feel like whenever I listen to, unless it's the album I'm waiting on, if it's the album I'm waiting on, then I'll listen to it. Like if I'm actually excited for it, but if it's like just whatever people.
You weren't excited for this?
I mean, not particularly. I wasn't just like, when is this Kendrick guy gonna drop? You know, I'm just like, if he drops type shit.
I feel like I feel like right in the middle of both of those, where I'm like,
It's like certain. How do I explain it? Certain artists I'm like a fan of, and I'm like really like wanting new music all the time from.
Mhm.
And certain artists I'm just like especially like big legacy artists like Kendrick. I'm just like I don't really care if they drop or not type shit.
Why do you think that is?
I think just because I'm not just like a huge Kendrick. Like it's not that I'm not a Kendrick fan. I'm just not a huge Kendrick fan. Like certain people, like if I'm even hesitant to say a fan. Like more so just like I respect his music, but like certain people I'm like a fan of.
Right.
Like,
but
like a
Kendrick
fan
just has so
fan.
many goated albums. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah,
So it's hard not to like To Pimp a Butterfly. You
For
know what
sure.
I mean? Damn.
yeah.
I saw a blind woman.
I was telling someone, I forget who I was talking to, but it was on a pod, and I was like, oh yeah, me and my boy Don always be talking about Kendrick and how his shit is like so deep. It's like it's funny,
Yeah.
like it's so deep we can joke about it.
Yeah.
And I said how we're always like occasionally we'll just look at each other and be like, "That was a blind woman," and they were like,
He's walking down the street one day.
right.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. I'm just, if I'm not looking for the album, if I'm not like, fuck, when's this guy gonna drop? When's this person dropping? Like,
I just
with like if Snow
it's-
Allegra drops, I'm like, give me that shit.
And you're listening right away.
I'm listening right away.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, type shit like that. You know, if Frank
It's
drops,
like bigger the
if Frank drops, I'm listening.
right. It's like the bigger the artist, the more I'm trying to like
I think the
consume it.
I think the bigger the hype is, I'm just like, I don't want to feed into it. Almost.
Yeah. Maybe I'm the same way.
Like,
maybe that's the like. What is that? What is that called? There's a word for that. Like hubris. Like just like
I don't know, but like the last Tyler album, I waited like literally like I think you even asked me about it. Like, did you listen?
Igor?
Like, no, not that one. Call Me. Or, what's it called? This latest one. This latest one. I forget what it's called, but
oh. Yeah.
He has that Young Boy song.
Call Me If You're Lost?
Call Me If You're Lost. Something like that.
Call Me If You Get Lost.
Call Me If You Get Lost.
Call Me If You Get Lost.
But I think you even asked me, like, did you listen to that new Tyler?
Yeah.
I literally waited like 3 or 4 months to listen to it. I was just like, and when I listened to it, I was like,
underwhelmed.
No, I was overwhelmed. I was like, this shit's lit.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe we're trying to save it for later, so that way our hopes aren't like let down because there's so much like everybody's like, you know what I mean?
And I feel like people like have a whole bunch of like hot takes, like stupid ass hot takes. Like I saw someone be like, oh, I'm not listening to this shit because it has Kodak on it and he rapes women, something like that. And I was like,
did you comment right below him and say so does Cardi B?
Cardi B rapes women.
Men?
Oh, I didn't.
That's a fact.
I'm just gonna leave that alone. I think that's all hearsay. Allegedly. It's all alleged.
Okay.
But I was just like shit like that where I'm just like people like always have like opinions right away and just like especially like if it's Kendrick, like
sometimes you gotta meditate on something.
Yeah, especially if it's Kendrick, like
that's what I'm waiting for is to meditate on it.
Right. That's why I was like, I was almost gonna be like, let's not even talk about the album because I haven't even like really listened to it. I think I listened to it like one way through, and then like I listened to it like 1.5 times. We'll say.
I've been keeping up with. I watched The Heart Part 5.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about that because we both listened to that, and it's not part of the album. So.
And I watched that immediately. I watched that immediately because Kenneth told me about it.
Well, I watched that immediately because I know about like. I know about the Heart series, like you know what I'm saying, like
but that has a lot of hype.
Like if you know about Kendrick's discography or career or whatever, like he always goes crazy on those. Like I remember like the Heart Part 1, like listening to that shit like in middle school,
right?
And then like the Heart Part 4 came out with Damn, and it's like you just know what's coming when it's one of those tracks. You know, he always goes crazy on
exactly
those.
like.
Yeah, it's like one of those ones that you're like, okay, I gotta listen.
Yeah, and the video to accompany it.
Yeah, the video was crazy.
You have to watch you have to watch it.
Yeah, you gotta watch it.
Yeah,
like okay, what did you think?
Threw me for a loop because I didn't see it coming. I'm thankful I didn't see any spoilers or anything because sometimes I scroll past something and I'm like, it ruins it a little bit, you know what I mean? For sure. So I was kind of thrown for a loop, and that was, I just like being thrown for a loop sometimes, you know what I mean? And so,
right. At first I was confused. Like at first I was just listening to the music because I'm watching the beginning of the video, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's just him rapping against like a backwell, like it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I'm like not really paying attention. I think I was brushing my teeth or I was doing something. And I'm just like not paying attention, just listening to the music, to the words, like the actual words. And I'm like, making the face like every time.
That's that Kendrick.
Yeah, like every time he makes the line, like I was almost hoping the album was like this, like where he was like, I don't know, I'm a sucker for a good 16 where he's just like straight rapping. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just some little bit of shit in the back, but it was mostly just like boom these bars, you know. Yeah. So I was just listening to that, and then I looked down, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, hold up, is this someone else? And I literally thought it was someone else, but they were rapping like
in place of him.
Yeah, they were rapping in place of him. And then I was like, wow. And then I was like, okay, now I'm paying attention because I'm like, okay, is it gonna switch again? Type shit. Like, is someone else gonna like? And then I was like, oh, I missed the transition. I missed how it switched. So like, let me watch about this next one. And then I just see the face morphing, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what the fuck? And then it starts morphing into people that I recognize because I didn't recognize OJ at first. and then it starts morphing into people I recognize. It starts morphing into Will Smith, and I'm like, hey yo. I'm like, hey yo.
Bruh.
And then it morphs into Kobe, and I'm like, oh,
Bruh.
man, not Kobe.
Dude,
And then
I don't know why I was getting so emotional.
Right, and then it morphs into Nipsey, and I'm like, hey,
bruh,
yo.
Bruh. That I was like,
And then the verse, and then like
It
what's
made
he
me so
what he's
sad.
saying in the verse, like everything correlates to like, and then it changed to Jussie Smollett. No, that's when I was like, this guy's got jokes. Then it turns to Jussie Smollett, and I was like, this guy's got jokes. And then it turns back over to Nipsey, and I was like, damn. And then the like everything correlates, like with what he's saying in the verse, with what he's saying in the picture of the person, and all that type of shit. What do we think? Scale of 1 to 10. Let's. Have you heard all the hearts? Like all of them?
yeah.
Okay. What do we rank this one? 1 to 5. 3. I was gonna say 4. I think I like the part 3 the best.
Part 3 is probably.
Yeah. I think it looks like the camera's gonna die here soon. I see a red thing in the top.
Shout out Kendrick. Shout out Doctor Strange.
Shout out all our mad friends.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some more guests on soon.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. I feel like
follow us on TikTok.
yeah,
We going crazy on the app.
definitely follow us on TikTok.
Subscribe if you would so oblige.
Comment. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know what do you want to hear next.
Yeah. It's always a blast.
It is always a blast. It's been another episode of the Mac and Don Show. What can we say?
Yeah. A lot of
A whole lot of gang shit.
nonsense gang shit.
Any last words, Don?
I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. Be good to yourselves. Stay blessed. Yeah. Wholesome ending.
Wholesome ending in this unwholesome world.
This was the good ending in this universe.
Oh yeah, for sure. In another universe, there's not even a Macadon show, and I bet you that sucks.
It's on fire in that bitch.
On fire. All right, we'll see you next time, folks.